Alrighty, today is Easter Sunday, April the 5th of 2026, and I want to read something about the little history of how Easter Sunday has fallen on this particular day and why they call it Easter Sunday. Now, of course, I am reading from Google, and it says here Easter combines Christian theology with ancient pagan spring festivals, particularly traditions honoring the Germanic goddess Estrus or Ostara, celebrated near the vernal equinox. These festivals honor fertility, rebirth, and the awakening of the earth. It also symbolizes or symbols like eggs and rabbits were adopted from these traditions, representing new life, while the holiday's name and timing often reflect pre-Christian practices. A couple other things to note. It is also rooted in the pagan goddess Estra, which is an 18th century historian Beatty linked the name, or 18th historian Beatty or Betty linked the name Esther to Ostra or Ostera, an Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and dawn. Again, it's a symbol of fertility, and part of those symbols are represented in the in the rabbit, Freudian slip. And hares are ancient symbols of fertility and spring. And then, of course, we have the egg were utilized in pagan rituals as symbols of life and regeneration. The Druids were said to dye them red to represent the sun or blood, burying them to fertilize the fields. And of course, it falls on the spring equinox, and this is to celebrate the victory of light or spring over darkness in winter. And of course, we know through history that in Europe, these extreme weather patterns did a lot of damage as far as their food supply and their ability to live and thrive in Europe prior to those from the south of the border, so to speak, coming into their country and teaching them a few things that help to elevate their civilization. Of course, I am referring to the Moors that came in. So yeah, as for us, the children of Yah, by the true children of Yah is April 1st. And a little trivia is that the reason why people say April Fool's Day is because it was changed by the Europeans to January 1st in the dead of winter. And of course, many have speculated, and I think rightly, is due to throwing us off by time and throwing the people of Yah off, especially here in North and South America, by changing the trajectory or the understanding of time and time shifts. And they have largely been successful until recently. As now we are under greater light of the truth, and so many things are being revealed in these last days, or have been revealed in these last days. So as we are learning now, there have been several more competent people removed from the current administration that is governing not only America, but affecting the whole world. And these people on both sides of the military, there have been several generals removed from their post by the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, as well as there have been mysterious disappearance of key significant scientists that have been on secret or black projects. They have either been put in witness protection program, or they have been unalived, or they have just simply, most of them, they're saying they have just simply disappeared. And things just keep getting curiouser and curiouser. We also have that, it hasn't been confirmed, but that President Trump has been in the hospital or been under some type of physician care, emergency care. Of course, that is the facts of that have been completely guarded for obvious reasons. But of course, with the light of truth, nothing will be hidden forever. And we can expect that if this report is true, that more information will surely come out about it. While at the same time, we have 4 NASA astronauts that are headed toward the moon. And if I'm not wrong today, I would say that at this point in time, on this day, they should actually be close to the moon and actually beginning to circumvent behind it. And of course, most people are just taking this as on face value as an extraordinary mission, which it is, and that this is an accomplishment and a start to perhaps mankind returning to the moon. Although there are many stories and evidence that the first 3 missions to the moon were actually staged, that they were not real missions. But it seems that this one may actually be a real one where they actually have gone, and it would make sense. I mean, as they progress in technology and as they have dug up a lot of the ancient stuff more, that only the Most High will allow them to have access to in this day and age, there is a possibility that they absolutely are headed toward that way. And if so, it is curious that they are doing it now in this appointed time with so much is going on, that they have made a beeline to the moon, and not only just to the moon, but behind it. And if you are a conspiracy theorist, that which are coming, many of the conspiracies are coming out to be true, but I digress. You will know that there is a theory, quote unquote, that there is a base behind the moon, and it's not human. The base is allegedly extraterrestrial, and that that there have been scientists, like when they initially, that first initial push to the moon, before it was quote unquote staged, that they did get close, and that when they landed, that they were warned off the moon, that aliens, and I believe possibly angels, told them, don't come back here, don't land, don't even try to come back here. And so that is part of the reason why it's taken them so many decades for them to come, and that they probably would not have returned had not things have changed today, right now, on Easter, have changed so significantly against the favors of the powers that shouldn't be. So my antennas are alert to, they're probably doing a reconnaissance mission. They want to know what's behind there. And one of the things that is being brought up for me is, are they checking to see if there is an armada behind there? Because we know that it is time for the rise of the Lord's great army. So if there are angels, as it has been revealed to me, that it's going to consist of not only the human element, but the angelic element too. They may be, these 4 astronauts may be really taking their lives into their own hands, but so be it. Going behind the moon, not just for science, but to check things out. So they're supposed to hit the peak of that on April the 6th, so tomorrow basically is when they're really going to be able to go behind it. So at this point in time, they are already in sight. They are already, you can say, at the moon right now. And now they're just in the front of it and they just have to swing around it and then they will come back if everything goes according to their plans. And so let's just kind of walk through this. Okay, so what if they do see an armada? What if they do see that truly that these unidentified flying objects are right there behind the moon? And by the way, have you noticed that there have been many movies that have kind of speculated that as far as like Independence Day, I remember there was another series called B for Visitors, and that they had a whole regiment of ships that were parked behind the moon. So something tells me that these people, of course, we haven't been given the whole story of true history, and a lot of it has been obscured. But those wickedly wise and wickedly anointed folks have always known, and they may have known that there would at some point be a defense parked behind the moon. Allegedly. Okay, I'm just speculating. We won't know until we know. But it wouldn't surprise me a bit is if that is what the real secret part of the mission is to check things out. And let's say that, let's walk through it. Let's say that there is one. What the heck they gonna do? I mean, what's their next move then at that point? Are they gonna bust down on their knees at that point and say, forgive us all? I think not. I think these people are so far gone that they, we have to be prepared that they may try to do something to us, the descendants of American slaves. They will be unsuccessful, but it could be the catalyst that lights the match. That's all I'm saying, that lights the match for the whole onslaught of things to change very, very dramatically. We may not get out of April with the same old continuing on. It could change literally overnight. And if so, I say bring it on. I mean, let's assess. Right now, we're seeing all kinds of meteors, right? We've been seeing them throughout the month. So since last month, we've been seeing these meteors enter. These people, the government and those who are high level, they know things far in advance than what they release out to the public. And those of us or those who are anointed are getting that information spiritually. So, but it's not with, sometimes we get proof and sometimes we don't, right? But we're trusting in the Most High because many times we'll get the download and then the proofing will unfold before us. Sometimes days, sometimes months, sometimes years, but it will happen. But things are speeded up now, and so these people, I just get the feeling that they have not been in the dark. That these, I'm talking about the high level ones right now. I'm talking about the ones that are in NASA. I'm talking about the ones behind NASA, NASA, that have orchestrated this. I'm talking about the governments of the world. I'm talking about those people who met in Davos to decide what they were going to do, that they have already always known that this would take place, if it is indeed true. So it would bespeak of the Most High's power too, to give them the date and time in which their rule and even their pretending to rule would come to an end, and that she would say, "Yeah, I'm going to let you know," and there'll be nothing you can do about it, which is like the ultimate flex, if you ask me. And so it would make sense that that would be the secret mission behind just the front facing one of, oh, we haven't been to the moon in so many years, and now we're going and we're hoping to open up and continue to go to the moon, which is an outlandish pronouncement in the light and of things that are happening right now. Like, how are you trying to even speculate that you'll be prosperous and going to the moon with all the madness and all that is happening on planet Earth right now. It's really interesting about the dichotomy of their psychology. As everything is going to the wayside, as everything is falling completely apart, they're now saying, okay, we're going to go to space now. We're going to go out there now. When everybody, I mean, okay. And so, thinking along those lines, I really believe the Most High illuminated and opened, like, no, they're actually going to see what's behind that moon. And it ain't just to go sightseeing, it's to go and find out if the army back there, where are all of these meteors, quote unquote, or UAPs actually, where are they coming from? Maybe they're going to go and just check to see if that army is out there waiting to come in. And probably not even waiting. I mean, it seems like it's already sending in in troops, so to speak. And as well as, they were not completely honest with us about Three Eye Atlas. And so Three Eye Atlas may have communicated something to them. And now they're going to possibly check that out. So either way, what we know is that all truth will be revealed, and it is being revealed. We are not even waiting on it. It is now unfolding beside us, and no amount of holidaying, no amount of whatever they did to the calendar can change that. Of course, these people have thrown off the date of time. We really, as far as literal counting, the year that they have given us is not even the correct year. They have literally, in order to rule, uh, uh, they have had to change the perception of time. And now what we're seeing is that that perception is being broken up into small pieces. And we are going back to where we originally are to understand what the reality, the true reality of time is. That's where we're going. So the year that we have now, that's on them. That's the year that they have been counting about their rise. It's not, and for us, for those that are called descendant American slaves, the true children of Israel, it is the counting of our imprisonment and how we have lost the power that we once had, and that now that power is being imbued in us and resurrected in us right now. Just as the sun is dawning, so are we waking up and walking into our power. And the shifting of that, I really do believe, has clearly taken place because you can see the evidence of the disaster after disaster that is taking place. And even with the wars that these people have started, it is still not stopping the nation and the human family from ignoring the Epstein files, even though there are probably many people who wish to, on just the regular folk. They're just not. And so there is a lot to be revealed. We'll see what the report is, if these people even come back, because I noticed too in some of these reports, and I'm talking about the astronauts, that they're kind of setting it up that if, there's this toilet thing that they're smelling burning fire and, or the smell of smoke. And, it sounds like to me that they're probably setting it up that if a disaster happens, that these four people do not return to Earth, that they can just say that they, were unalived. Versus, quite possibly, if there is an intelligence back there, if the angels or the larger part of the Lord's great army is back there behind the moon, then they can easily snatch them up. Easily snatch them up. And of course, they wouldn't return. They would not come back around the moon, right? Here's the thing. The third thing, I have to say this before I go. That also too, if there is something back there and they do capture the astronauts, or if they don't and let them pass through, how much you want to bet that they'll even tell us the truth? They will let that information out. I think that if these people can keep it to themselves, they would do so. Or if it is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Astounding that they will have to tell the people something. I'm giving them grace that if it is something in which they would have to prepare all the people for, it would be in their best interest, in the interest of the people, to actually tell them. However, having said that, now I have to concede that they probably would not, even if it was, even if those 4 astronauts wanted to say something, even if they, in every fiber of their being, they wanted to say something. Maybe if they tried to, they would, the powers that shouldn't be, or lose those who are the powers that are losing their power, would shut them off. You know, they would shut them off, because I think it's still live is still really not live, right? Where live is, there's still like a few seconds drag before the public actually sees what's really going on. So it gives the the people there, the ones that are in control of the mission, time to silence some things or to block out some things if they don't want the public to see it. So we'll see. I mean, we will all hidden things will be revealed, no doubt about that. And yeah, it wouldn't be I would not be surprised that the mission that they're telling us just to fly by is okay, one mission, but it's not the mission. Anyway, it is Sunday, April the 5th. I hope you have a good day, and I hope that you are enlightened to the truth, and that the Most High, especially for the descendants of American slaves, that the Most High keeps you and protects you, and that anticipate or set your eyes on the opening of New Jerusalem. And may your prayers be to the removal of the powers that shouldn't be and the uplift of the powers that should be. Thank you for listening.